Welcome back to Brickmail, and today we'll be doing part 2 of building Lando Norris's McLaren 2026 F1 helmet. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I recommend going and watching part 1. In part 2 we will be discussing Lando Norris's career in F1, as well as the set and what it is like building it, and how it looks. Let's get into it. When Lando Norris made his Formula 1 debut with McLaren in 2019, expectations were high, but nobody expected immediate miracles. McLaren was recovering from several difficult seasons, the budgets were low, the team was just focusing on rebuilding and making sure not to go bankrupt. Alongside the more experienced Carlos Sainz Jr., Norris entered Formula 1 as a highly rated rookie year. From the opening race in Australia, he showed impressive speed, qualifying 8th on his debut weekend. A few races later in Bahrain, he scored his first Formula 1 point with a 6th place finish, proving himself as an F1 driver. Throughout the season, his qualifying performance became one of the biggest strengths to him. Although Norris finished 11th in the championship with 49 points, the numbers only told part of the story. What impressed teams and fans was how quickly he was able to adapt to a F1 car under these circumstances. He rarely looked overwhelmed, and he was very consistent. He matched pace with more experienced drivers in similar F1 cars, and he helped McLaren establish itself as a midfield team. However, his teammate Carlos Sainz did ultimately beat him in the driver's standings. However, Norris had showed enough to keep his seat in F1. By the end of the season, the question was no longer if he was a rookie, but how far he could achieve in F1. The 2020 season was like any other due to COVID-19 pandemic, but for Norris, it was his breakthrough year. The delayed season began in Austria, and Norris immediately produced one of the standout performances of his career. Starting near the front, he stayed in contention throughout the race and delivered an incredible final few laps by setting the fastest lap on the final lap. And benefiting from a lucky penalty due to Lewis Hamilton, Norris secured his first ever podium in F1, getting a 3rd place. At the time, he became one of the youngest podium finishers in Formula 1 history. And suddenly, the promising rookie might be a genuine front-running talent. Norris spent much of the season consistently scoring points, helping McLaren secure 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship. While victories remained out of reach, he gained more confidence in wheel-to-wheel battles. By the end of the year, he had scored 97 points, nearly doubling his rookie total. And Formula 1 officials analyzed his highlights, just how dramatic his improvement had been. It's, as I said, double what he did in his rookie season, showing he's improving. And many began viewing him as one of the strongest young drivers on the grid. Rise from rookie to established performer had happened faster than anyone almost could have expected. By 2021, Norris entered his 3rd Formula 1 season. With growing confidence in more competitive McLaren, Daniel Ricciardo joined the team, and many expected the experienced Australian to lead the team. Instead of popular beliefs, Lando Norris delivered the strongest season of his career. Up to that point, he scored podiums at Imola, Monaco, Austria, and Monza. Monaco is one of the hardest races to get a podium at, and he consistently outperformed Ricciardo in both qualifying and race pace. At one stage of the season, Norris even sat 3rd in the championship standing, ahead of drivers such as Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. Then came the Russian Grand Prix at Sochi. In difficult qualifying sessions, Norris secured his first ever maiden pole position of his Formula 1 career. He looked set to claim his maiden victory the following day. He led much of the race and successfully defended against Sir Lewis Hamilton, but with only a few laps remaining, rain had begun falling across the circuit. Norris stayed on slick tires while others switched to intermediates. The gamble failed, conditions worsened rapidly, and the race slipped away. What looked like a certain victory turned into a 7th place position. The disappointment was immeasurable for him, and many fans still consider it one of the most heartbreaking moments for his F1 career. He could have won. Yet the season proves that he was no longer just a promising young driver, he deserved to be there. He was fighting for a podium in Constructors. Now, the introduction of Formula One's new regulations in 2022 reshuffled the competitive order, and McLaren struggled to adapt. The team fell behind rivals such as Alpine, making podium chances extremely rare. While Daniel Ricciardo continued to struggle with the car, Norris became the clear leader of the team. One of his standout moments came at Imola, where he secured McLaren's only podium of the season with a nice third place. Despite driving a difficult car, he consistently found ways to score points to remain competitive against stronger machinery. What made his 2022 season impressive wasn't wins or headlines, it was his consistency. Norris scored 122 points out of 159, regularly outperforming the car's true potential and beating his teammate. His teammate couldn't even get half of the points. The 2023 season began badly, though, for McLaren. The car lacked pace, and both Norris and his new rookie teammate Oscar Piastri found themselves fighting at the back of the field. Early races were frustrating, and there were concerns McLaren's rebuild has stalled, and that they could possibly go bankrupt. But everything changed with a major upgrade package mid-season. Almost overnight, the McLaren transformed into a podium-contending team. At Silverstone, Norris thrilled the home crowd by qualifying on the front row and finishing second to Max Verstappen. However, he did lead some of the laps in that race. That result marked the beginning of one of his strongest phases of his career. As the season continued, Norris became a constant presence on the podium. He scored 7 podium finishes in total, including standout drives in Britain, Hungary, Singapore, Japan, Qatar, and the United States. Although Verstappen and Red Bull were still too strong to beat consistently, Norris was increasingly seen as the best driver on the grid yet to win a race. By the end of the 2023 season, he finished 6th in the championship with 205 points. The 2024 season began with Lando Norris carrying years of pressure. After multiple near misses and heartbreaks, the question was no longer whether he was fast, it was if he could finally get out of his head and make it into a win. McLaren had taken another step forward, and for the first time in years, Norris had a car capable of winning races consistently. That moment finally arrived in Miami. In a tightly fought race, Norris found himself at the front controlling a Formula One Grand Prix, but unlike previous heartbreaks where he would always get a podium, this time everything held together. He made no mistakes, the strategy was perfect, and due to a lucky safety car, after 110 Grand Prix, Lando Norris crosses the line to take his maiden F1 win. He had emotions immediately, years of frustration have disappeared in a single moment. But what changed more than anything was what came after. His confidence and ego significantly changed. He no longer thought it was impossible for him to win. He was expected to deliver. Through the rest of the 2024 season, his confidence grew, and he did deliver. He raced with more control, made sharper decisions, and looked more complete under pressure. Additional wins followed, and McLaren became a consistent front-row team again. By the end of the season, Norris was no longer a breakthrough story. He was a proven winner in Formula One. However, towards the end of the season, he had gotten into his head and had a bunch of unfortunate events happen. He was leading the championships at some point, lost it at the end to Max Verstappen, but he had still finished second in the World Driver Championship, showing he can fight for the championships. Also, he helped his team secure a World Constructor Championship. The last time they won a World Championship for constructors was 1998. Now comes 2025. Lando Norris is no longer the rookie. He's a senior driver in F1. He has race wins, race podiums, pole positions, and a car to win the championship. It's whether he could handle the pressure. He was a title contender. McLaren entered the season with a car capable of fighting at the very front. Norris began the year with championship expectations for the first time in his career. From the opening rounds, the battle was intense. Every race mattered, every mistake mattered, and every point counted in a tight fight. Norris found himself competing against the very best in Formula One, including Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri for the World Driver Championship. But what defined his season was consistency. In earlier years, he relied on speed alone. Now he combined his speed with control. He delivered points even on difficult weekends, and avoided the costly mistakes that had hurt him in the past season. As the season progressed, the championship fight tightened. Pressure increased, margins shrank. Max Verstappen was closing in for the World Driver Championship, and every race became more critical. But Norris stayed composed. He executed when it mattered most and maximized every opportunity across the season. And after months of pressure and battle at the front, Lando Norris became the Formula One World Champion. From a rookie in 2019 to champion in 2025, his journey was complete. Now, let's take a look at the Lando Norris McLaren Lego Formula One helmet. Inside the box, you'll find 2 sticker sheets, the instruction manual, and 7 numbered bags of Lego pieces. In total, the set contains 793 pieces and retails for around $90 US. This set was co-designed by Lando Norris and the McLaren Formula One team to commemorate and celebrate McLaren's 1000th Grand Prix in F1. The finished helmet captures many of the details seen on Lando's real racing helmet. On the left side, you'll find Lando's signature fluorescent yellow color scheme, while the right side features McLaren's iconic papaya orange. Both sides are connected by the recognizable black swirl pattern that has become a key part of Norris's helmet design. This set is recommended for builders at age 14 and up, but overall the build isn't particularly difficult and pretty easy to do, with simple instructions to follow. The manual comes in at 342 steps long and does an excellent job of guiding you through the process step by step. One thing I really appreciated about this set is that LEGO kept the sticker count very low. Most of the details are achieved using printed or built elements rather than stickers. In fact, you'll only need to apply around 3 to 6 stickers, mainly on the front visor section of the helmet, which you can also opt out of doing for a cleaner look. The completed display also includes a premium looking plaque featuring Lando Norris's name, his signature, and his driver number, which is number 1 following his 2025 Formula One World Championship victory. LEGO also included a few hidden Easter eggs throughout the build. One of the best is a hidden minifigure head on the side of the helmet itself. Another can be found underneath the display stand, where you'll discover your Lando's personal logo incorporated into the design. The internal structure of the helmet uses several unique building techniques to achieve its curved shape. LEGO also uses a variety of bright colors throughout the internal framework, making it much easier to identify pieces and follow the building process. Overall, this was an extremely fun and enjoyable set to build. The combination of unique building techniques and hidden details and the connection to Lando Norris's Formula One career makes it a fantastic display piece for both LEGO collectors and Formula One fans alike. That's going to be the end of this voiceover. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And now sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the video.